Hello, everyone. My name is Deja, and I am currently a fellow with Financial Beginnings Oregon, which is a nonprofit located in Portland that works to increase financial literacy across the state. Today, we are here for our second episode of our financial literacy podcast.
Hi, my name is Abria, and yeah, we're here with Financial Beginnings. Today, we're going to be interviewing Auche Bishop. She's currently a full-time working student, so let's pass it on over to her and let her introduce herself too.
Hi, you guys. My name is Auche Bishop. Um, Basically, like Abria said, I am a full-time worker at Legacy Hospital and also in cosmetology school. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but that's what I do. Thank you guys for inviting me too.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us today and
Yes,
carving out some
yes.
time.
I had to support.
Okay, absolutely, always. So now we got introductions. Let's jump right into it. So I'll start with our first question for Ashe, and then we can just go around and um, piggyback off of each other. So, Ashe, have you thought about planning for retirement? Why or why not?
So no, I have not. Um, I haven't. I guess because that hasn't, I guess it should be, but retirement sort of never has been something that was like on my forefront to save up for. I'm always sort of focused on like next week or within a year's time span. But honestly, I don't really know why I never, thought about saving for like a retirement plan or anything like that. I feel like that's not really talked about or, taught much, which it should be, because a lot of people do not plan for the future and stuff like that, which I think that should be normalized. So I need to get more in tune with that and start planning for those type of days when I'm not going to be working no more.
Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, I totally agree with your whole entire statement. Like, I feel like as young women, especially young Black women,
Hmm.
especially, like we're not taught
Right.
those specific things in school, not even really
Right.
like in our homes. Because honestly, my mom
Yeah.
is still working. My grandparents just retired like 5 years ago, and they're living off of
Yeah.
like the government, SSI and stuff. But I don't think, it was really something that was like a generational, okay, let's
Right.
retire. Let's talk about putting our money up, having a savings so that when that time comes, we don't have to rely on the government so much. But,
Exactly.
I feel like, it could be a racial thing. It could just be like a personal thing. I feel like there's a lot of layers to that. But yeah, personally, I haven't thought about retirement, and it seems so far away too. So it's like, why should I even think about that? But
You know,
I think in terms of like savings and just like you said, planning for the future, I think more younger people especially should not necessarily like go 100% into it, but like just start
hmm,
talking about it, acknowledging it, and just learning tools to help later on down
exactly.
into our
Yeah.
lives. Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Deja, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, I 100% agree. And I think that starting sooner rather than later is always better. I mean, when you look at retirement investment accounts, just a few years can be the difference of hundreds of thousands of dollars saved away for retirement. And it's just the difference between putting your money in a savings account and putting it in a retirement account. And a lot of people just aren't taught that, which I think is the biggest problem because they're not even given the option to start with.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I
So,
need to I one thing I will say though is I've really been teaching myself how to save, especially me being on my own. Like I started doing it before I was fully on my own, having my own place and things like that, but Now, since I am, I definitely am teaching myself how to save. And because my mom just sort of started, not sort of started, but I would say like a few years ago, started being really serious when it comes to credit and just finances and saving and properly using money and investing money. So
Hmm.
that's a big thing that I've been learning and also teaching myself. And I actually enjoy saving money because I love seeing it just build up, add up. It's a it's a nice thing to see. I'm like, okay, got a little comma here and there.
Okay, what a comment. But
Well,
yeah,
it was.
yeah. But
Oh,
and that's like another great point you make too. I feel like the younger we start, we won't have to struggle so much later
definitely.
in our middle age life, like you said, like your mom just started, my mom just started too.
Hmm.
Like, she wants to get a house, she wants to buy her own car, she wants to work on her credit. But those are things I'm just now starting to see,
Right.
So I rather like,
But
I'm
it's
not
good
bagging
for
on her,
us
but
to,
yeah,
right, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's good for, I'm glad they're doing it and we're still like in our young 20s. So by the time we
right,
become their age, we could probably have, I don't know,
thousands of dollars saved.
in our savings account. Like, never know.
Yep. All right. Deja, can you ask the next question, please?
Yes. So the next question is, what has been one of your biggest financial accomplishments or mistakes? And this can be work related or related to school or just really any financial endeavors you may have had.
That I will say that was my biggest mistake when it comes to finances, was just not sort of really knowing the importance, excuse me, of money and how to use it and things like that. But now I would say one of my biggest accomplishments was investing in myself, currently putting myself through school. I'm in cosmetology school for to be a nail and a lash tech. So I put some money aside, and I recently, for example, just got certified for nails, and that was a nice little bit of chunk of money. But when it comes to like something that I really want, like career wise, I never really look at how much it is, because I feel like when it comes to investing in yourself, there's always a bigger picture. So I don't mind saving until I get that $900 so I can pay for a class that I'm really interested in to build my craft. And even like my apartment personally for me was an investment, just to have my own space. Also a place where I could actually build my and perfect my craft with nails, and so I can have a place of my own. I will say those are recently some of my biggest, excuse me, accomplishments when it comes to money, was really just investing in myself.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like that because I think a
Thank
lot of the
you.
time people don't see investing in themselves as a true investment
Hmm.
because they don't always see the immediate return.
Right.
But you really do have to think long term with that. I mean, going to school in any capacity is definitely an investment. Taking classes, doing
Yeah.
anything you need to, move yourself forward.
When it comes to just taking maybe an hour of studying when I do study, or just an hour of research, um, when it comes to how to handle business, um, how to, I don't know, properly apply acrylic or anything like that. That's also investing in yourself, because I feel like a lot of people always think that investing is always just like you have to have this lump sum of money, but there's different types of forms of investing in yourself. So also time, and that's a really big thing for me
I
personally.
agree. No, I totally agree with that. Which honestly is a great leadway to our next question. Um, it says, have you thought about investing? Have you invested? Why or why not? And when I mean, in terms of this question, I meant more so like in like stocks or bonds. But I feel like
Mm,
you also make a great point with just investing in yourself. I feel like that's
mm.
a real thing. But outside of just investing in yourself, have you ever thought about investing in like in a company or something like
Oh,
that?
of course. That's honestly like real life. That's all I think about is money and how to make myself more money and successful and other things that I can do that I could probably put my hands in. I definitely have in and out, not like how I need to, but just learning about stocks and investments. I'll sometimes watch some things on YouTube or people who have actually used stocks and invested like that. I talk to them just to get more of an understanding of how it works because it could be a little tricky if you don't know what you're doing. I think it's sort of tricky period because it's like sort of you're playing like a game of chess when you're putting in money in stocks because it can go up down. You can literally gain or lose money. So, but I definitely am interested in stuff like that. I also what I really like about Cash App is they sort of have like, oh, you can get some Bitcoins and you can invest in stocks. So I just did like probably $5 and invested into one of their stocks. I forgot which one I did. I think I did like Nike or Apple or something like that. And even though $5 is like nothing, but I just wanted to play around with it just to get a feel of what it's like to play with stocks and be in that whole world of the whole stocks and investments. It's interesting. I think I can see more of the results when I invest like maybe $100 or something like that. But I remember I did like $5 or $6. I think it was like 3 months ago, and now it's at like 10. And I never check on it, but sometimes I go back and I'm just like, "Huh, I wonder how much I gained or did not gain." And I'm like, okay, it's like a cool little $4 or $6, but and I just see like the chart of how it went up and down or how it just went up. And I find that interesting. So just by playing with that on Cash App with a little $5 or $6 made me a little bit more interested because I was just like, I don't know nothing about this. And sometimes when it comes to researching on YouTube, I'm like, I don't know who to watch, who to not to watch, because sometimes people be lying on there, but or just not giving correct information. So
Yeah,
I try to definitely network with people or see who my mom knows when it comes to people who actually know the game, can actually teach me and show me like, okay, this is where I started, and now it's been a whole year. This is where I'm at. I love to learn. I'm more of a like I have to learn more in person. So I'm just like, please show me, because once I get that down, you ain't gonna be able to stop me.
exactly.
I like to learn about that. Like that stuff, especially as I get older and watching my mom buy her home, that was really motivational. And I believe that was like 3 or 4 years ago. It's gonna be 4 years in October, but I was just like, okay. And I think we should all, for me personally, sort of not to be off topic, but normalizing that it's okay to buy property at the age of 25. You don't always have to wait until you're older. So that's why I'm like really enjoying learning how to save, stocks, run a business, things like that. Because I'm just like, I don't have to wait till I'm 30 or 35 or have a family until, to buy property or stuff like that. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I want to learn about stocks. I think I will really enjoy stuff like that. Stocks is interesting. I never
Yeah.
really, yeah, when I first learned about it, I was just like, okay, I've heard people make money off of it, but it it seems confusing, but one day I'll
Right.
get there.
No, definitely. Like before starting the financial beginnings program,
Hmm.
I would say I had like a very minimal like knowledge about it. And then when
Right,
I started learning about it, it was very confusing. Like, but like I feel like the more you, like you said, the more you want to know, the more you know, like the more
right,
you get that experience and education. And like you said, before you know it, you'll be investing in stocks, running your own business, doing this, doing that, like making your money work for you instead of the
right.
other way around, you know?
Literally, that's for real. Start having passive income, like literally making money in your sleep.
Exactly. That's what
That's
it's
the
like really
goal.
about.
Right. That is the goal.
Okay. Well, we have one more question left for you.
Okay.
Okay, so the next question is, how do you think being a woman of color has set you up for financial success? So, even going back to everything we've been talking about, like investments, making your money work for you, and just learning more about how to be financially stable and financially abundant, do you think that being a woman of color has kind of stifled your ability to learn more about that in any way?
I feel like now, um, women all over, but especially Black women, are really dominating when it comes to entrepreneurship. Um, and I feel like now it's a little bit more, I don't want to use the word not fun, but a little bit more accessible. I feel like it feels a little bit more accessible to actually learn about this stuff and have and get all the resources you need in in order to like accomplish that when it comes to finances as a Black woman. I feel like there's still some ways to go because I just feel like as being Black, period, we still could use um, more resources than what white people will get. So I feel like we could use more help, but at the same time, I feel like, as black women, we're just like, move, I'll do it myself and I'll figure it out. So I
Right.
sort of feel like that's where we're at right now. Like, and I'm sort of enjoying that. We're sort of making our own way and our own resources. So, I mean, that's what I've been enjoying. I follow a lot of Black entrepreneur women that's entrepreneurs, and I'm just like, dang, like we're really taking over. We're really like taking over when it comes, because I feel like men always, at least society wise, it's always the men who feel like they usually have all the information basically because they're the providers. But now it's just like, no, honey, we don't need mops and brooms. We need the cash. We need the investments. We need the resources. We are the resources. We
Hmm.
are the vouchers and everything else. So that's how I feel now, but maybe some years ago it was more difficult. But now I don't feel
Yeah.
like it's as difficult as it used to be because we sort of
Right.
take things into our own hands. So
Well, I guess we could ask one more question since we're here.
yeah, sure, come on.
um, where do you go to look for financial resources?
Ooh,
Like that could literally
um,
be anything from anyone, anywhere.
yes. Ooh, financial resources. That is a great question. Um, well, I try not to go to them, no shade, but I try not to go to them too much. But I will say, just to give them a little pat on the shoulder, I will say SEI every now and then is one of my financial resources that I will go to. Um, but can you sort of elaborate what you mean on like where do I go for financial resources?
Yeah. So like for us, SDI, Self Enhancement Incorporation,
Hmm.
they actually give us money,
Right.
to help with like bills or something like that. But like, say you really wanted to learn more about investing, stocks,
Oh,
or
okay.
retiring, or just about like anything financially. Like, if you wanted to learn more about how to build your credit, like, what are some of the things that you use personally to like get those answers?
Okay, okay. Well, one of them is YouTube because I'm just always on YouTube and looking up stuff. But another one is really my mom, because she has introduced me a little bit more into that world, that side. Um, and I try to always go to networking events with her because she loves to do stuff like that and has met some pretty nice people when it comes to business and probably does real estate and all that other stuff. So I try to get some of my mom's connections, but when it comes to just work on my own, I'll say just research.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll try to research or see if anybody knows someone that does this or does that, does stocks or does lashes or whatever, whatever. I like to, like I said, I'm more that person to person type. That's how I learn. But I'll say networking and doing my own research. That's the main thing. That's my main thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
agree. I feel like
yeah.
the internet, people always got their opinions about the internet, and I
Hmm.
definitely do too. But I feel like in
Definitely,
terms
yeah.
of like you said, Black women specifically, like just taking things and matters into their own hands and getting stuff done,
Hmm.
I feel like the internet has helped us, personally me, a lot,
Yeah.
with finding different opportunities like what I'm in now, or just like you said, leading me to different people that probably know way more that can teach me something, or just like you said,
Exactly, yeah.
just going to Google and typing in, Google, what is this? Like,
Right, exactly, yeah.
yeah, I feel like that
That
stuff has
search bar is a
definitely
real
helped.
powerful tool.
No, it really
And I
is.
try to use it as much as possible. Um, and also, trial and tribulation will teach you a lot. uh,
Yeah,
Trying
personal teacher.
something and then you sort of fall on your face, you have to try it again, but just a different way. It's a
Hmm.
wonderful teacher. Um, but I definitely, and also like, even though I've tried to, and Abria knows this, I've tried to do the college thing a few times, and I will be there 2 weeks, a month, and be like, "Girl, bye. I'm not doing this." Who are you? I'm just not doing it. Like, it's just not for me. But I ran into somebody because word of mouth is also a really good thing. Um, and they told me about this class at PCC, and I wouldn't have to enroll in it. It's a small business class, and you just pay your one-time fee, which I think is like 250, and it's a 6 month class. I believe you get a certificate afterwards, but it's a 6 months, about 6 months class, 6 months for it. You just don't have to take those weird classes that has
Hmm.
nothing to do with business at all. Um, but also at the same time, I do believe in going to school, and learning about business. But at the same time,
It's not
I
for
like to
everybody.
learn, I like to learn business. I like to get business advice from people who actually run a business and not teach at a university or even a community college. No diss to them, but I can't ask the guy in the corner, you know, that sells strawberries how to sell oranges.
Hmm.
I just rather get it from somebody who knows what they're doing, are actually in that position and can give me the real advice. And you also never really know how to do things until you actually do it yourself because everybody's experience is different. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. Word of mouth is very useful. Your
Mhm.
personal experience, very useful.
Very,
Like
yep.
sometimes it might mean you fall flat on your face, but
Yeah.
that's life. You got to get up and try again and make it work.
That is so
But
true.
I just want to say thank you so much again, Ashe, for joining us today. We're going to wrap this up. Do
Yes,
you
thank
have
you for
any?
inviting me.
I'm really glad you came here. I feel like you gave really responsive, lengthy, you know, feedback to our questions. So I really appreciate that.
Yes, I love seeing this. When you told me, like, oh, we're going to talk about finance, I'm like, finances? What I got to talk about with finances? I don't know what to say or whatever.
Right.
But when I seen the questions and that this was also for women of color,
Yeah.
I really was like, oh, okay. And I really appreciate this podcast. I think it's
Yeah.
really important and it's a good light to shed because not only is it for a woman of color, but it's also finances,
Hmm.
which we all need to learn more of. So thank you guys so much for inviting me. I enjoyed my time in this conversation, and hopefully I can be back. We might have to be on another
Right.
podcast.
Right. Create something so we can all come
Right.
back and do this again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why that's one of the reasons why we wanted to create something like this because
Mhm.
it's such a not a lack, I feel like, but there are certain things that women of color specifically need or want to talk about just with each other that we can't
Right.
really find that somewhere else. So,
Exactly.
we wanted to do this, bring people in with, similar and different experiences. And I feel like you were perfect for this because we're all kind of both in that, going to college, going to school,
Mhm.
beginning that
Right.
new life experience
In the
stage.
beginner
So,
stage, we're trying to figure everything
exactly.
out.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really wanted to get your feedback and I thought it was so amazing. So thank you.
Of course. Anything for you, girl. And it was really nice meeting you, Deja.
Yeah, likewise. I want to say again, thank you so much for being a part of it. I think your answers were really informative, and it's nice to have the perspective of someone who's trying to kind of get into the field of being more financially literate and just
Mhm.
learning more about investing, growing generational wealth, because I think that's one of the most important topics, especially when we're talking about people of color and finances, because that's something
Right.
that we definitely don't have a lot of.
Right. That
That
is
is
very
very
true.
true.
I wish I would have stuck college out to be an accountant, but life said something else.
Girl, it's always saying something else.
It's always got something to say.
But at least you're trying it a different way. I feel like going the way you're going has really worked for you. And I'm glad you found,
Yeah.
what it is that you really want to do and investing in yourself and like going, throwing 100% at it
Yeah.
because I feel like, you couldn't do that at a university, but you're doing it now. So that's all that really matters.
Right. Thank you, friend.
You're welcome, friend. I'm rooting for you. Period.
Waiting.
And we running off each other honestly too at the same time.
Girl,
Like
seriously. Oh,
literally.
child.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right,
Uh
you're welcome.
thank you. Okay. See you guys later.
All right, bye, you guys.
Bye. Thank you.